Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Out of Bounds. I'm doing solo today. Todd is out. He didn't respond to my text message, so he's really out of it right now. But I'm going to try and give you guys a quick little show. I'm not going to try and hold you guys up. But if you guys have any comments or questions, we will get into it. I'm just going to load up the page so that way I can keep up with the chat. So hopefully, I don't bore you guys to death, but I'm gonna try and give you guys my predictions. I didn't even get Todd's predictions, so it's just gonna be me going solo today. And I got the picks written down right here, and I will be doing my picks. The Cowboys game should be starting within the next half an hour, and if you guys want to chime in with the comments, I got the chat up. But I'm gonna jump right into it. The Dallas Cowboys going into Tennessee. That game is going to happen here shortly. And again, I see that a few of you have joined. Todd is not with us tonight. He is out. His voice is giving him a hard time. He didn't respond to my text messages, so it's just going to be me doing the show by myself. I don't have his picks. I wish he would have sent me his picks, but I'm going to give you guys my picks. And in the chat, if you guys want to chime in with your comments and your predictions. But let's start it up with the Dallas Cowboys going into Tennessee, and that game is going to happen tonight. In this game, I think that Dallas is a lot. They should be favored, honestly. Tennessee doesn't have the talent. They don't have. They switched the quarterbacks. They've had a funky season. Mike Vrabel seems like he's lost a team. But then again, can you really blame Mike Vrabel for the dysfunction of the team? They did trade away Julio Jones, and from what I understand is that Julio Jones, Mike Vrabel wasn't a big fan of that. He was opposed to that, and for good reason. And I think Mike Vrabel should stick around for one more season. I know me and Todd get on him, and we come up with nicknames for Mike Vrabel. But I honestly think that Dallas is going to take this game, and depending on how the Eagles game goes this upcoming weekend, they're gonna determine if they're gonna rest starters for the last week of the season. But I think that Dallas should take this game pretty easily. I think that their talent is going to override everything that Tennessee's got going on. Tennessee is just the only thing that you could think of with Tennessee, like anything that pops out, is Derrick Henry. Their defense is okay. They got professionals over there, but I'm going to go ahead and ride the wave of the Dallas Cowboys this week. If you guys want to let me know who you guys are picking, I can read the comments. But I'm going with Dallas in the Thursday night game. And Todd, he said that on the last show 2 nights ago, he said that spoiler he was going to go with the Tennessee Titans. That's the only pick that I've got of him. That's the only pick that I've got of him. So he's going with the Tennessee Titans. He did say spoiler. You're going with the Cowboys, Sonia. I'll mark you down. You're going with the Cowboys. Hopefully everybody's having a good night. Hopefully work didn't kick everybody's butt. It kicked my butt. Sorry I got on here late. I had to do dinner for the kids and myself. Worked out a little bit, trying to get back in shape and decent shape, and then wash the dishes and then took a shower. So I was in a hurry to try and get this show going and over with before the 8:15 mark East Coast time, so that way we can all sit back and watch the Thursday night football game. But Sonia, I got your pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Todd went with the Titans, and I went with the Cowboys as well, Sonia. And I went 12-4 in last week's picks, and I know that you went 11-5, Sonia. I think that's what you said in the show 2 days ago. And then me and Todd were only three picks apart. He's got me by 3 wins. He's at 143 wins, and I've got 140 wins. So it's real neck and neck. We got his pick. Like I said, he's going with Tennessee. I'm going Dallas. Moving on to the next game that I got marked down. The Arizona Cardinals travel to Atlanta. Look, this one to me is pretty easy. It's pretty simple. The Arizona Cardinals don't look like a team that's threatening anybody. It looks like they're not even an entertaining team. You're going with Atlanta. What's going on, Monk? I see you're in the chat. Thanks for stopping by again. Always stopping by, Sonia, Monk. You guys are true quality people. Much respect and love to you guys. Me and Ty, we greatly appreciate you guys. And like I said, just you guys keep us going. I had to make sure that the show was going on. If I knew that we didn't have people like you coming in and watching and enjoying our show, I wouldn't have done the show tonight solo. I would have just said screw that show. Nobody cares about it, but you guys care, so that's what I'm here for. And slowly but surely we're gonna grow. So you're going with Atlanta, Sonia. Let me mark you down. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Atlanta as well. Monk, are you going with anybody, Atlanta or Arizona? And do you want to make a pick on the Cowboys and Tennessee Titans game tonight? Let's see. Monk, you said we would have understood if you did not. No, but we have to stay consistent. We have to stay consistent, Sonia. We have to do it. I could have easily done like a little 5-minute video and gone through the picks, but I wanted you guys to be a part of the picks and all that because that's the way the show is. The show's about you guys. We're a small little group, a little community, but we're getting there. Atlanta and Cowboys. What's going on, Peck? I see you're in the chat. I'm doing a solo today without Todd. He's out. His voice is out. He's not even in the chat. He's just out of it. And let me see. Monk, you went with Atlanta and Dallas. Let me mark you down. Monk for Atlanta, and then you're going with the Cowboys. Pack, if you want to get your picks in. So far, we've got the Dallas-Tennessee game out of the way, and then Atlanta and Arizona. That's the one we're on. I think everybody's going to go with Atlanta. Atlanta and Cowboys, I think that's, let me see. Packers for Atlanta. Dallas is Packers as well. I'm not missing anybody, but health comes first always. Yeah, definitely. The good thing is just his voice. Yeah, this one's real easy right here. This one's real easy. He'll read the comments. I'll let him know that you guys are thinking about him and all that. But Atlanta, I'm pretty sure everybody's going with them. Nobody's taking the Cardinals for good reasons. They're just a dysfunctional team. Atlanta, they got a chance. No, they don't even have a chance of making the playoffs, but they're a better team right now. This game is going to be basically for nothing. But Atlanta's got a better overall roster. Like I always say, better team, better roster, better record, better get the job done. And Todd would hit that little horn. But moving on, I'm pretty sure everybody's going with Atlanta on that one. Moving on, this one's going to be interesting. This one's got a lot of playoff implications on the line. Chicago going into Detroit, into the Motor City. This one right here, I was thinking about it today when I was looking at the games. If you guys want to start dropping your picks in, I'll start marking them down. Chicago going into Detroit. Look, Detroit, they're trying to make the playoffs. Let me see. Sonia, you're going with the Lions. Pack is going with the Bears. Let me see. Sonia is going with the Lions. Pack is going with the Bears. This one I was waffling. I was waffling, and Monk is going with the Bears. This one I was waffling back and forth, and the way these two teams line up, they're in division, so records really don't mean nothing. But Chicago could play the spoiler, and I was thinking like Chicago could easily play the spoiler. But Detroit's got a high flying offense. They can get the ball down the field. They got the best offensive line in the NFL. Chicago's potential right now, their main threat is I almost call him Kyler Murray, Justin Fields. But if Justin Fields, he can't carry the whole entire team, the whole entire offense by himself. And with the way the Detroit Lions can fly with the ball, they can sit there and score on one plays. And I saw it firsthand in Detroit. It's in Detroit, and this is their last home game. That crowd is going to be rocking, and it's a divisional game, so it's going to be packed. This is basically, if the Lions don't make the playoffs, the crowd's going to make it feel like a playoffs game. And when they get momentum at home with that type of atmosphere that they have this year, it's going to be hard for Chicago to keep up with them going back and forth. I think Detroit can win this game. I'm going to go with Detroit in this one. Only because it's in Detroit, and I know how that crowd's going to get. The Lions, they feast off of the momentum of the crowd. They feast off of the momentum. Like when the crowd gets loud, that's when the defense turns it up. And Chicago does not have nothing scary on offense like the wide receivers. The only way they're going to do it, this is the one trick part. I was thinking about going with Chicago in the game because Detroit last week against Carolina gave up like 300 yards on the ground. But going into this game, that was on the road. Going into this game, Detroit should be ready for the run game. But Justin Fields could make the difference. I'm going to go with Detroit winning this one. Let me see. I got all you guys' picks. Sonia with the Lions. Yep, me and Sonia went the Lions. Pack and Monk with the Bears. All right, moving on to the next game, the Denver Broncos going into Kansas City. Do we even have to go over this game? I mean, hold on, but there is something different about this game. The coaching is going to be different. And what do I always notice about when there's a new coach in town? Look what happened with the Colts. Jeff Saturday, right? Let me see. Casey for Sonia, Casey for Monk. Pack, you're going to go with Casey, or are you going to think about it? Because there's the coaching change. There's a coaching change. And what do teams always do when there's a coaching change? They come out fresh. You don't know what to expect. Kansas City. It's unanimous. This could be a trap game, and you know what? I'm going to go with Denver on this one. I'm going Denver. I'm going to be the lone wolf on this one. I'm going to howl on this one, so it's going to be unanimous. You guys are all going with Kansas City. You guys are all going KC. Let me see. I'm going to write down the initials. Sonya, Monk, and Pack. And then I'm lone wolf in it. This could be a trap game. Denver's got the talent. They were just led by the wrong head coach, and I'm giving them the benefit of a doubt because I think Russell Wilson is going to have some fire up under his butt, and I think that he's going to come out shooting. In Kansas City, they're looking for the number one seed, but man, you just don't know what to expect with a new coach. It happens all the time. It happens all the time when a new coach comes in. For that first game, they're always shooting on all cylinders. So Wilson will have more bathrooms than touchdowns, huh, Sonya? Okay, Todd just messaged me. He must have just. His voice isn't back. His voice isn't back. Let me respond to his text message and tell him to get in the chat. All right. Wilson will have more bathrooms. All right. Let's when he gets in the chat, he'll start commenting and all that, and you guys let him know how you feel about his help and all that. Next game on the list, Miami at New England. Miami is trying to make it to the playoffs. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They went out west. They went out to San Francisco, the Chargers, and then into Buffalo. And they lost those games. And then they lost Tua Tagovailoa to a concussion with the game against the Green Bay Packers. They had a 20-10 lead at half. And all was well until that concussion, until those 3 interceptions by Tua Tagovailoa. New England is just a sloppy team. They're a very, very, very slow team. You do not know what you're getting out of them. Miami's got much more potent. They've got much more on the offensive side. We know that they're explosive. They can score on one play. Let me see. Pack says New England. Monk says Pats since Tua is out. Okay, you guys are all going with New England. Let me see. Pack, Monk, and Sonya. See, but the thing, they've got Teddy Bridgewater as the backup quarterback in New England, and Miami has owned New England, even in New England, going back to Ryan Fitzpatrick when he was a quarterback, and New England needed that win. Was it last year? It was 2 years ago. It was the year that the Tennessee Titans beat the New England Patriots in New England. It was the year where things started falling apart for New England. But Miami has been really good on the road, and I'm going to take Miami to keep things going. They've shown more signs of being more of a playoff team. New England's kind of like in the middle. They're kind of like that. And to be honest with you, this is going to be a playoff game. But if you look at these two teams, who do you think is more playoff ready, more exciting, more like they're going to put up more points? Like that's what it's going to come down to. New England's more of a like. They're a hit or miss team. Miami could hit you on all cylinders, man. They're a good team. I'm going with Miami. Let me see. Don't forget R3. Let me see. 13 at the half. I thought it was 20-10, and then after that, it was just downhill. It was just those 3 interceptions. I was wondering what was going on with those interceptions. The first one I want to say was it the Tyreek Hill or was it the one on the right-hand side of Raheem Mostert? Like, he threw it to Raheem Mostert, and he wasn't even paying attention. Like, Raheem Mostert was trying to run his route, and he threw it before Raheem Mostert even knew what was going on. Tyreek Hill interception, he threw it into, like, a pile of Packers. And then the other one, Devondre Campbell, I want to say that's what his name is, Devondre Campbell. He was just sitting. He just threw it right at him. Like he was definitely in concussion protocol. He shouldn't have been in the game. Teddy Bridgewater can work the system, bro. He's gonna do good for Miami. It's gonna be the same thing. I think Tua Tagovailoa and Teddy Bridgewater are about the same quarterback. But moving on to the next game, I'm riding solo on a few of these games. I like my chances. I like that. Let's see. The Tyreek one, he overthrew because the linebacker almost baited him. The linebacker baited him. That's true. He was just seeing. I think he was seeing doubles. I think he was like cross-eyed or whatever. He was not right in the head. Pack. But moving on. We're gonna go into a really interesting game. The Colts going into New York, into Jersey, into MetLife Stadium to play the New York Giants. Russ, who also jumped the corner route. Yeah, they were balling out. The Packers were balling out. Pack. They played a heck of a game. Offense looked pretty good. And then Christian Watson got hurt too. You're going with the Giants. Let's see. I'm gonna mark you down. Pack is going with the Giants, and Sonya's going with the Giants. And then Monk. Are you gonna go with the Giants as well? Let's see. Giants is going to be unanimous. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon too. Monk and then C for me. But to go over that game quickly, not to just shovel that game aside and just be like that game is irrelevant or whatever. The Colts are they started off with Jeff Saturday beating the Raiders, and they have not won since. The New York Giants just took a L to the Minnesota Vikings. He said it's not allowing him to join. I'm not sure what's going on. But this game, the Colts, Todd said that. He said that something's happening when his connection isn't letting them connect. Let's see. I hope Giants lose, but I doubt it. They're a more talented team right now. They got a more consistent. They got more of a scheme. They've got more of a grip on what's going on with the team. Like they've been gelling the whole season. Whereas the Colts, they got Jeff Saturday, who like I said, won his first game as a coach against the Raiders, but has lost like 5 in a row, including that 33-0 disaster in Minnesota. And the Giants need this one. Giants need this one to make the playoffs, but they've also needed other games, and they haven't come through. Like this is the type of teams that you don't want to be fans of at this time of the season. Because I mean, you're going to be a fan of this team, but it's going to be a hard time because you're going to sit there and think so much about what team needs to lose and all that. And the Giants they're still in the playoffs. I want to say they're in the 7th seed or in the 6th seed. I know they hold a tiebreaker over Seattle and Green Bay, and then also Washington. So they should be the number 6 seed. But I'm going to go with the Giants in this one, strictly because the Colts haven't shown me nothing, and I'm not sure who their quarterback is going to be. It's just a mess over there. So it's a big-time mess over there in Indianapolis. Plus, the game is in New York and Jersey. So we're all going with the Giants on that one. Let me see. The Saints, the next game on the list. This one's going to be interesting. I was going back and forth with this one so much. This was almost like the Bears and the Detroit Lions game for me. The Saints going into Philadelphia. Philadelphia does not have Lane Johnson. They're hoping to get Lane Johnson. Their left. I want to say he plays on the left side of the offensive line. Jalen Hurts isn't going to play again. They're saving him for the playoffs. A.J. Brown looked like he tweaked something in last week's game, but he still came through with over 100 yards. So you kind of erases the injury. Pack, you're gonna, you know what? Honestly, I don't know if Jalen Hurts is playing. I'm thinking that he's not gonna play. But when the report initially came out, Sonia, they said that he was gonna be out for 2 weeks at least, going back to last week. So if Hurts, this is what I was saying, this is exactly what I said about the Eagles last week. If Jalen Hurts plays, then they're going to beat the Cowboys. But if he doesn't play, then the Cowboys are going to beat them, and it happened. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play in this game, I think Gardner Minshew could still strike a little bit of magic over there for Philadelphia. It's in Philly. But then again, you also have to think the Saints just came off of a win in Cleveland, and I know that's not really saying much. But going into the cold, it was like negative 14 degrees. They were down 10-0 on the road. They could have just tucked it in, and they could have just said, you know what, the season's over with. We're not making the playoffs. And it's a tough environment to play in, especially in those conditions when you get hit, tackled, and it's super cold. It's just unnecessary to play in that type of atmosphere. But that's the way Cleveland wants to have their stadium built, torturing their home fans. I don't understand that. But if you're gonna ask me who's gonna win this game, I think because it's not the playoffs, I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Saints to win this one. And that is a little bit of a bias pick in me, but I'm thinking about Philadelphia. They've been kind of like playing down to their competition's level. They've been playing down. Look what happened in the game against the Texans a few weeks ago. Then they struggled against who was it? What's the other team that they struggled? They struggled against bad teams, the Colts. And then there was another game where they should have just rolled away with it. They were struggling with the Bears a little bit, and then they finally pulled away. But I'm going to go with the Saints in this one because it's not the playoffs. If it was the playoffs, I'd go with the Eagles because they'd have everybody. They'd push Lane Johnson to go out there. But I'm going with the Saints in this one. I think you guys are all going with the Eagles. Let me see. It's Hurt playing. Sonia asked. Pack is going with the Eagles. Let me see. Monk is going with the Eagles. Sonia going for the upset Saints just to be different. Hey, I'm going with the Saints as well. I think because the Saints are more hungrier at this point in time. And I think that game against the Dallas Cowboys could be a blueprint of how to beat the Eagles. But Andy Dalton is the wild card. And they also have Alvin Kamara. I mean, they've got Chris Olave. So it could be a trap game. So I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with the Saints, even if they're on the road. All right, so we're split on that one. Carolina at Tampa Bay is the next game. So let's see who everybody goes with. Carolina's been on fire. They've been playing really good. They haven't been letting off. They just blew out the Detroit Lions, but that came on the run game. That came on the ground. Both the running backs had over 100 yards. They embarrassed the Detroit Lions in Carolina. This game is in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's got a better defense. But a worse offense than the Detroit Lions at this point in time. Like the this game could be, if it's a close game, it's gonna be the Buccaneers. It's in Tampa Bay, but that's not really saying much. Carolina, like Tampa Bay, is vulnerable this year. They're dysfunctional. Tom Brady, it looks like he's this game. I think I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this one. Because when I want to pick against the Buccaneers is when the Buccaneers win. When the Buccaneers the Buccaneers are that one team that when you think they're gonna go away, they come right back at you. That's why their record is right there and they're leading the division. I'm going with Tampa Bay to win this game. Let me see. Pack, you said Tampa. We agree on that one. Let me see. Monk says Carolina. And then Sonia, who is Sonia? Sonia's going with Carolina. All right, we got the picks. All right. Now let's move on. This game is going to be good. Oh my God, this game is going to be really good. This game might be one that I might actually watch it because the Vikings aren't going to be playing. Cleveland at Washington. This one, the reason I'm saying it's interesting and really, it's going to be a really good game is because it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's not going to be high-scoring, so don't go in there thinking you're going to see touchdown after touchdown. This is going to be a defensive battle, but I think that Cleveland is going to take this one because Washington made the move to Carson Wentz. You're going with Cleveland, Pack. Let me see. Pack is going with Cleveland. Let me see. Woke, but Wentz. You're going with your home team. You're going with the Woke, Sonia. Let me see. Sonia's going with the Washington, and then Pack is going with Cleveland. Yeah, I'm gonna go with, and then Monk is gonna go with the Commanders. Let me see. Yeah, the reason I'm going with Cleveland in this game is because Washington's defense is built to stop the pass game, and they're okay against the run game. And Cleveland isn't really good at passing the ball. Deshaun Watson has been really bad. He doesn't look like he had like how he did back when he was in Houston. So what's Cleveland gonna do? They're gonna rely on the run game. They got Nick Chubb, and then they got Kareem Hunt, and then they got the tight ends to block out there. So their pass defense is kind of like you can like kind of like erase that because Washington or Cleveland isn't gonna be passing the ball all that much. And then Washington, if you look at Washington, their strength, what is their strength on offense? Like Carson Wentz, I think Tyler Heinicke was a better quarterback, but Carson Wentz is in. You can't trust Carson Wentz. I don't trust him at all. I like Tyler Heinicke. If Tyler Heinicke was in the game, I would have picked Washington, but I just don't trust it. Their strengths, it favors Cleveland because they have the same similar type of front seven, and I trust the way Cleveland's going to approach this game a lot better. They're going to play milk the clock and ball of possession of time and all that. They're going to take control of the ball. So yeah, give me Cleveland on that one. Let me see what you guys got. Week 17, and they finally going to announce the mascot, dumbass team owner. Dan Snyder doing Dan Snyder things, Sonia. That's just a Dan Snyder move. What did they name the mascot? The Commander? While you answer that one right there, Sonia, we're going to move on to the next one. We're going to go to Jacksonville going into Houston. Houston just got their second win of the year last week. So now they're sitting at 2-11 and tie or something like that. They're sitting on a ridiculous record. The Jacksonville Jaguars have been looking really potent, and that's my pick to win the AFC South, and I'm going to stick with them, and I'm going to ride with them, and I'm going to go and pick the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm pretty sure before I look at the screen, everybody's going to go with the Jaguars. Pack's going Jags. Monk is going Jags. Sonia, you're, let me see. It is going to be a surprise, but I heard it be Hog throwback to 40 years ago. Jags. Yeah, we're all going with Jacksonville. I shouldn't even write the initials. I should just circle the Jaguars because it's just a clean sweep. Houston, they had their moments. They've been a tough team to play. It'll probably be a close game, but Jacksonville should pull away in the end. The next game, well, we'll see. Since you got history on the Commanders, formerly known as the Redskins, Sonia. What you said it might be Hog. That's gonna, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's a threatening name. But when you play football, you're not thinking about the mascots. Let me see. The next game on the dock is the 49ers going into Las Vegas to play the Raiders. The quarterback switch in I almost said Oakland. The quarterback switch happened for the Raiders. Could that be a good thing or could that be a bad thing? You guys let me know if you guys trust Jarrett Stidham. You got to remember McDaniels, the coach, he came from New England and he brought Stidham over from New England to the Raiders, so he knows how McDaniels wants to run the offense. 49ers for Sonya, and Packers. Let me see, Sonya, and then Monk is probably going to go with the 40. Yeah, there he is right there. Yeah, it's hard. I'm trying to make it. Things interesting. I'm trying to make things interesting with the Raiders pulling up an upset. And you know what? This is the time of the year when crazy things do happen. I remember a few years ago, the 49ers, the year that they made it to the Super Bowl, they lost to the Atlanta Falcons when the Falcons were absolute terrible. Yeah, Todd just said he's going with the Titans. He's going with the Titans, and then he'll give us he'll give us picks as the night goes on. And if anything, I'll just do a screenshot of his picks and then I'll upload it to the page, all the picks and all that. But they let Carr, didn't they? No, they didn't. I don't think they let him go. They're benching him. They're benching him. But you also have to think, like I said, Jarrett Stidham, he was with the New England Patriots with Josh McDaniels. The upset around this time of year going to be Packers over the Vikings. Hey, if it happens, it happens, man. I just hope it doesn't happen in the playoffs. That's all I hope. I just hope it doesn't happen in the playoffs because the way it looks is Minnesota will be the number 2 seed and Green Bay will be the number 7 seed. So they'll line back up. And if Minnesota loses to Green Bay, we're going to get the rematch round number 3 in Minnesota. So, and the crowd's going to be pumping. It's going to be the first home playoff game since 2017 with the Minneapolis Miracle. The 49ers and the Raiders. Could the Raiders be playing angry or could they play soft? It's in Las Vegas. It's so easy to go with the 49ers in this one. They got the defense. They've got momentum going. They're on like a 6 or 7 game win streak. They're coached really well by Shanahan. They've got a really good nucleus going. They've got it going, man. I'm gonna have to go with the 49ers. The only way I see the 49ers losing this game is if injuries start happening. You got to remember the 49ers are known for injuries. Like all the running backs are always injury prone. Quarterbacks are always injured. Bosa can never stay healthy. They're always running into injuries. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards the Raiders. Should I go with the Raiders? I'm going with the 49ers, man. I'm going to just play it safe. Next game, the Jets, the New York Jets. I should call them the New Jersey Jets because they actually play in Jersey. They don't play in New York. They play in Jersey. The Jersey Jets, Gang Green goes all the way out to the 12th man to battle the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks have the same record as the Lions, the Packers, and themselves. And I'm not sure if the Giants and the Commanders have the same record, but things are really tight. It's like a 5-horse race to see who wins the 6th and 7th seed. The Jets, let me see. Packers going with the Jets. Let me see. Sonya's going with the Jets. Monk, you're going to go with the Jets as well? This game, you used to look at Seattle as a 12th man. You used to look at them as a team that you could not go into Seattle. Oh, you're going with the Seahawks. Monk is going with the Seahawks. I like that. So I'm looking at it because Pete Carroll versus Robert Saleh, and then you've got Zach Wilson, Mike White, and then what's the other quarterbacks? I can't think of his name. I don't know what that other number 15. He looks like Tim Tebow and Taysom Hill, that scrambling quarterback that came out of nowhere. It's tough, man. It's tough because the Seahawks, they know that they know their quarterback, their offense is set. They just haven't put it. I don't know what it's going to take for Seattle to do it, but they know that the playoffs are on the line. And the Jets are traveling all the way out to the west. They're going out to Seattle. Both these teams need this win. It's at home. It's in Seattle. But the Jets, who is their quarterback? That's the thing. Who is their quarterback? The running backs, like they're going Michael Carter one week, and then they're going to another, then they're going to Knight. It's like you don't know who, and then their passing game is so up and down. The Seahawks, they've got a better team. I feel like they've got a better. I like bits and pieces of the Jets, but it's gonna be White. Seattle 1-5 last 6 games. Yeah. The Jets aren't all that good either. They're like on a 3 or 4 game losing streak too. And this game is in Seattle too. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm waiting. My body's telling me my heart and gut is all telling me to go with Seattle. I'm going with the Jets though. I'm going with the Jets. You can pick a tie. You can pick a tie. There have been yeah. You got a point there, Sony. You can't go with the tie. There's been like 2 or 3 ties this year. I know the Giants, Washington, and then the Colts and Texans. Like there's 2 ties, and then the Vikings and the Colts almost had a tie too. If it wasn't for that last second kick by Greg Joseph. So Monk is the only one that went with Seattle. Let me see the next game. I'm gonna save this one before the Monday night game. I'm skipping this one because it's probably the second best game of the whole week. But this one, I'm going to this game next. The LA Rams going into the LA Chargers. The same stadium. Whose house? You can basically paint it all blue and light blue, powder blue, gold. That it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be interesting to see what home fans actually show up. If it was me and I lived in LA and I didn't have an actual NFL team, I'd have a half and half. I'd have a half Chargers, half Rams jersey specifically for this game. Let me see. You guys are already making your picks. Sonia and Pack are going with the Chargers. Let me see. Chargers are over here. Sonia and Pack. And then let me see. Monk is going with the Chargers as well. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm going with the Chargers. I think the Chargers, even though they clinched the playoff spot, they're gonna try and get higher in the playoff seeding. Maybe they'll take it up to. I don't know where they're sitting at, Sonia or anybody out there. Do you guys know if they're in the 7th seed? Because I know they just clinched their ticket to. They just punched their ticket to the playoffs. Now if they're in the 7th seed. They're gonna try and push for that 6th seed. So that's gonna give them momentum and motivation to go. It's gonna be in LA, regardless if it's a Rams home game or a Chargers home game. It's the same fans. So yeah, give me the Chargers. They're gonna want to go in with the winning approach. They're not gonna want to go on a losing notice. So yeah, give me the Chargers on that one. Everybody's going with the Chargers. Next game. This is actually Sunday night, so I gotta respect the way the games are played. Next game is actually not Sunday night, but it's the Minnesota Vikings going into the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are riding on They're riding a 3-game win streak. Minnesota, their last loss came to the Detroit Lions a few weeks ago, and they've been pretty clutch and when the game matters. They're 11-0 against they're 11-0 in one-score games. I know that they're like a 3.5 point underdog going into this game. I'll read you guys' comments right now, but the way I look at this game is I look at it like there's too many question marks for Green Bay. There's way too many question marks. They have a really good run game, but they do not stay consistent with it. They tend to get away from the run game when it's working. So that's like how Minnesota does things too. Minnesota gets away from the run game when things start clicking and they start going downfield. Green Bay kind of worries me. This isn't the Vikings fan talking right now. This is the fan that's trying to see both teams for what they are. Green Bay, they're picking things up, and Romeo Doubs is going to have to be the lead guy. He's going to have to pick it up. Christian Watson, who knows if he's going to play. Let me see. Packers, Mason Crosby, 33. So you guys are all going with the Packers. It's just too. I don't know, man. I think that Minnesota could. Green Bay, it's in Green Bay, but this is going to be basically like win or go home for this team for Green Bay. They're going to give Minnesota all they possibly can. But I just don't see Green Bay pulling away with a blowout win. They haven't shown that type of they haven't shown that they can blow a team out. And what that leads me to believe is that it's going to be another close game. And if you've been following the Vikings this whole season, that's how they finish their games, no matter if it's at home or on the road. They've gotten blown out when they get blown out, that's when they lose. But the Green Bay Packers don't have the type of offense, and Christian Watson's maybe not going to play, and if he does, it'll be limited. And then the tight ends aren't really. You got Mercedes Lewis trying to make plays, and then, bro, I'm going with the Vikings. I'm going with the Vikings because I see this as another close game. If it comes down to another close game, I'm not even going to be worried about it. If the Packers are up by like 14 points in the third quarter, I'm still not worried about it. The Vikings have to be losing by like 14 points with like 5 minutes to go, and then I'll be like, okay, the Vikings are going to lose. But if it's just a 7-point game with like 4 or 5 minutes to go, and Minnesota has the ball or they're about to get the ball, I'm going Minnesota. They're going to take it to overtime and win. That's just the way the season's played. So you guys are all going with the Packers. Sonia and Monk. Let me see. We're gonna be desperate. It's gonna. That's how. But if you look at it, that's what Minnesota has to embrace for. This is gonna be. I hate to say it like this, but I can't find any other words or any other ways to put it. And this is no disrespect to the Packers, but I feel like this is. I hate using it because it's like I feel like I'm disrespecting the team. It feels this is gonna be like a warm up, but it's not a warm up. You know what I mean? That's like all I can think of, the words that I can put together. This is basically gonna give the Vikings a preview of what's to come in the playoffs. And if you know how the Vikings are coached up, they're gonna be ready for it. They're gonna be ready for a team that's desperate. And if they end up losing this game, it's just a bad sign. So they have to win this game. This is gonna be like this is playoff mode for the Minnesota Vikings. This is the Green Bay Packers have been in playoff mode, but how long can they sustain the win streak? That's what I want to know. Because if they do win this one, that'll be win number 4, right? And then they're gonna have to win number 5 against Detroit, and then they're gonna be the road dogs the whole entire playoff. So that means they're gonna have to do the wild card. That's gonna be 6 games. Then they're gonna have to do the divisional, and then they're gonna have to do an NFC Championship game, and then they're gonna have to go into the Super Bowl. You're telling me a team that was just 4-8 is gonna go on a 9-game win? I don't think so, bro. I think Minnesota's gonna knock them out. It's gonna be lights out for Green Bay. I don't see them going on a 9-game win streak to win the Super Bowl. I'm going with the odds on. I'm going with the favorite. Well, not the favorite, but I'm going with the Vikings. Hell, the Vikings could be down 30 at half and come back. That's what I'm saying. Until there's like the only way that I'm counting Minnesota out is if like what happened in Detroit, Philadelphia, or Dallas when they're down by like double digits with like 3 or 4 minutes to go. Then I'll be like, okay, the game is over. But Green Bay doesn't possess that type of offense this year. Next year they might do that, but not this year. It seems like Green Bay's going to be in. It's going to be a close game, and if it's a close game, Minnesota's taking it. Vikings better be ready because they've been winning a lot of close. Green Bay's not going to blow us out though. That's the thing about it. Green Bay hasn't blown anybody out. They've been in, if anything, they've been in close games. They've had to come from behind. Minnesota. That's interesting. That's interesting that Minnesota gets criticized for all these close wins, but these teams that Minnesota's been beaten with close wins, the Green Bay Packers have been getting blown out by those same teams. So I don't understand how the narrative is against the Vikings. Yeah, we lose close games, but these same teams that we're beating barely are blowing out other teams that are trying to make the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't understand the narrative. It's not about winning Super Bowl. It's about making playoffs. Last 4 or 5 games, we averaging 27 points. The Vikings are right there too. Vikings haven't blown nobody out either, and all losses are blowouts. But that's only 3 losses that we caught teams at the worst times. Philadelphia, we caught them after an emotional win, emotional blowout win to the Green Bay Packers. And then the Dallas Cowboys caught us right after that historic win against Buffalo. And then the Detroit Lions, we caught them when they were red hot. And you got to think about it like this. Detroit was also the media darlings. And then what ended up happening when they went on the road into Carolina, they got their brains beat down. Imagine Vikings could easily have a lose. That's what it was last year. The Vikings were... They had like 8 games where they lost all 8 of them by 1 score. Now this year the roles are reversed, but nobody wants to. Nobody points out how last year they lost like 8 or 9 1-score games. Everybody seems to have forgotten about that. But now this year everybody's using that narrative against the Vikings. But it's all right. We're used to being the underdogs, and we're gonna put an end to the Green Bay Packers season. And if we don't put an end to them, they're gonna come right back into Minnesota, and we're gonna take round number 3 as well. But let me see. Not to get too caught up with the Vikings and Packers game, because we can go all night with that one. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Baltimore, the game that got flexed to Sunday Night Football. This is going to be an interesting game, and honestly, Tyler Huntley, I liked him, but man, there's nothing on the offensive side for Baltimore. There's nothing for the Baltimore Ravens. I want the rematch in Minnesota because we lost week 1 there. Yeah, but Minnesota's only lost 1 game at home. They've only lost 1 game at home, and that was to Dallas after that win to Buffalo. Minnesota's they're going to be they match up really good against Green Bay. They met that it's either the Giants or the Packers that I want in the first round. That's or the Seahawks. I think that Minnesota could take the Seahawks, but Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I just don't see Baltimore having anything on offense. I think Pittsburgh's defense is gonna shut them down. I think it's gonna be a close game. Kenny Pickett is gonna continue to grow as a quarterback, as an NFL quarterback, and I think that Pittsburgh's going to take this one. Baltimore's offense is just not it, man. And sorry about that, Monk. Sorry about that. I know you like the Baltimore Ravens. My nephew's a Ravens fan, and I like the Ravens because my nephew, he's a Ravens fan, and that's the reason I went to the Browns Ravens game and missed the Vikings historic game against the Colts. But I'd rather be a part of my nephew's first time being with the Baltimore, watching the Ravens in person. I'd rather do that than watch the Vikings play because I know what it's like. I don't know what it's like being a 17-year-old going to an NFL game. So because I didn't experience it, I definitely enjoyed giving that to my nephew. So even though the Vikings came back 33-0, I enjoyed my time with my nephews a lot more than that. But let me see. Pittsburgh for Pack. Let me see. Right, Packers going with Pittsburgh. I'm going with Pittsburgh as well. Each Monk is going with his team with the Ravens. They're already in the playoffs, though, Monk. Like, the Ravens are already in the playoffs. Sonya is going with the Steelers in a close game. Let me see. This is definitely a toss-up game of the week. Which one? That one, the Rams, or not the Rams, but the Steelers and the Ravens, or the Monday night game? The Monday night game, that one's gonna be, hey, that one, as the kids would say, that's gonna be fire right there. Which one is it that you're talking about, Sonya? Before we get to the Monday night game, this Monday night game is gonna be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait for this Monday night. Like, obviously the Vikings and Packers because I'm a Vikings fan. Pack, you're a Packers fan. That one's gonna mean the most for both of us. But bro, put that game aside. Put all these other games aside. Because we've got basically a AFC Championship matchup for Monday Night Football this late in the season. Think about this. You got Josh Allen, an MVP, one of the MVP favorites, going into Cincinnati. A guy like Joe Burrow that has not lost to Patrick Mahomes. He's 3-0 in the last 3 matchups against Patrick Mahomes. This game is going to be in Cincinnati in the jungle, bro. Like, it's going to be so... Oh my God, I can't wait to see. I wish this is a game I wish I could go to because I just know how that crowd's gonna be. It's gonna be so loud, it's gonna be crazy. The crowd's gonna be just so pumped up and jacked up, and Buffalo is gonna have a hard time. I'm going with the Bengals. I'm going with the jungle on this one. Joe Burrow, Joe Thorough, Joe Cool. Give me the modern day Drew Brees, bro. This man Joe Burrow is not messing around. That's my Super Bowl team right there. Yes, I'm a Vikings fan, love my Vikings, but if you ask me to pick away from the Vikings, I'm going Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to get it done this year. They can beat the Chiefs, and if they can beat the Chiefs, they can beat the Buffalo Bills. I'm going Cincinnati. Bills, Bengals. Oh, you guys are going with the Bills. On the road. Think about it, though. Think about it. Cincinnati at home at the jungle. That crowd is going to be so pumped up, bro. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm going Cincinnati. Sonya, you're going with the Bengals. I'm going with the Bengals. Monk and Pack are going with the Buffalo Bills. Let me see. I had to flip a coin literally because it's so good. Like, that's what makes this game. That's what's going to make that Monday Night Football game so good. And it could also be for the number 1 seed. I don't know what the Kansas City Chiefs got going on. They got the Denver Broncos, but man, this is it right here. That's the 2 teams that are going to represent the AFC, the Bills and Bengals, as long as everybody stays healthy. But that's all I've got. I've got you guys' picks. I could give you guys long-winded answers if you guys want, or I could take a screenshot so that way you guys can take a look at it. I could take a picture of it, and you guys can take a look at it. And then you guys could also store it in your phone, or if you guys are writing down your picks, that'll work too. But yeah, I'll get Todd's picks, and then I'll post them on this page, on the YouTube page. But yeah. It was fun doing the show. I know that the Thursday Night Football game started about like 10 minutes ago, so it's perfect timing. But everybody except Todd is going with Tennessee. I hope the Bills win. Y'all have a safe new. Oh yeah. That's another thing too. Happy New Year to you guys, and hopefully you guys are safe. And please just be safe. That's the most important thing. Look, we all want to have fun, and we all want to be reckless. But let's remember. We got 365 days. I think it's 365 days to celebrate. Or 356. I can't remember. I'm getting old. I got Alzheimer's or something like that. But we've got like a whole entire year to celebrate the whole new year. So just don't go all out in the new year. All the crazies are gonna be out there. Enjoy your time at home. Put a movie on. Drink a couple beers at home. Do what you gotta do to make sure that you make it to the next day. All these crazy drunk drivers, and just don't do it. I strongly recommend that you don't. I'm going to spend my time with the kids at home and the wife. So just be safe, everybody. I have mine written down. We good. Sonya said, "Out the Bills win." It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be, man, that Bengals team though, Monk. But yeah, we'll see how we do. Like I said, I'm gonna get Todd's picks, and then I'm gonna post them on the community tab, and we'll see how everybody does. And then once the playoffs start, I'll start marking down everybody's picks. Look, I was in such a rush. I'm gonna show you guys one last thing, and then I'm gonna cut the stream off. Like I was in so much of a rush to get the show going, showering, working out, doing dinner for the family, washing the dishes, that I was like I almost forgot to that I didn't have the picks in front of me, so I had to do this really quick. Look at that, I got the picks. Is that not crazy? I was chicken scratching my way through everything, but I'm gonna do a better job, and then I'm gonna post all the picks up once I get Todd's picks. But I appreciate you guys for stopping through. You guys are the best. Monk, Sonya, Pack, appreciate you guys. Yeah, it works, Sonya. It works. It works. Um, but we will be back hopefully Tuesday of next week. But like I said, thank you guys for thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for being a part of the show. It means a lot. And with that, I'm gonna cut the stream off. You guys take it easy.